Hello everybody and welcome to Dynamic GT League's Miles Mug for race 7 of 9 from Blue Moon Bay at the Tri-Oval. Let's take a quick look at the current championship standings. SGP leading the way, 110 points. He's ahead of Demon R in second. Then David Harp, Steve F1, Jason, Jimmy, Conrad, Formula Gary, Twilight, SRI, Rich Blues, Hey, Art Power, Almighty Narsh and Bunsel. Fortunately, a few drivers missing today. Jason, Conrad, Art Pal and Hey unable to make it, which is a big shame. There's still going to be plenty of action around the oval. You know what it's time for? Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys. So here we go then for a Blue Moon Bay Speedway as we take a quick look down the long run to turn 1. Get a little dizzy here. Joining me in commentary is Ray. How are you, Ray?
Not too bad. Left, all the way around.
Aye. Steve F1 on pole position. I was thinking about a joke I was going to say, right? But I didn't want to spoil the grid walk. So SGP is second place. Who's that in third?
That's Demon R, followed by Jimmy.
Jimmy. Ooh.
And then we've got SRI on 5th and Twilight in 6th.
Yep. Then we've got Formula Gary, Bob, Almighty Narsh, Dave the Harp, surprisingly quite far down the grid order in qualifying. Rich Blues will take up the last spot on the grid. A couple of drivers missing today, late missings, which is a bit of a shame. But we've got a 40-minute race around Blue Moon Bay. Tri-oval, high speed, high risk, not lots of corners. But we're at 5 lights, and away they go, and it's a good start from everybody by the looks of it.
Yeah, I think everybody's still within their grid slots, I think. As we see, well, where was Jimmy? Jimmy was before at the front.
Yeah, Jimmy was fourth. Jimmy's under pressure.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yep, Twilight's done him. SRI maybe doing him as well. No, and took him behind. Let's have a look. Bob trying to make some moves. Is he just behind Formula Gary as Steve F1 leading the way into the only flat out corner? Oh, it's getting a little bit wobbly at the back. They managed to survive. Oh, do they? Oh, no. It's the big one. It's happened early. Oh, cars everywhere. Oh, dear, oh, dear. Oh, dearie, dear.
Yeah, they were turning right, not left.
Yeah, they were. Twilight stolen third place from Demon R by the looks of it. So Twilight's on the right charge at the moment. I mean, I suppose something we should mention, Ray, is with us being on a tri-oval or oval, it is kind of like racing NASCAR, but not in NASCAR cars. We're in road car cars, the Ford GT40, which are going to be a little bit tricky around this track.
Yeah, the very sliding in the corners, plus even for the braking in turn 1, you've got to do it about 200 meters or more. Yeah. I can't remember, to be honest.
That's about 200 metres. That's all right up behind Demon R at the moment. We saw SGP on the pack cam giving Steve F1 a bump draft. Bump drafting is something that will work wonders around this track, although you don't really want to be receiving a bump draft just before the braking zone for turn 1. So go through turn 1 now. Steve F1 leading the way still, then SGP. Then we've got Twilight breaking away a little bit. Those three are from Demon R, SRI, Jimmy, David Harp, Rich, and then the guys who had the big crash earlier on, sort of closing back up to the pack. But yeah, we're not mentioning it yet. You did about turn 1, you got to brake about 200. This left-hander they're going through now is absolutely flat out. And then this final left-hander, brake about 100 metres. And then drivers may try, might try one of the 4 lanes that are there. But I can tell you that lane 2 is where the grip is. And that's lane 2 from the bottom of the track. Dave Yard making a move on Jimmy.
Yeah, it's quite an interesting track to try out as we see them all going into turn 1. Yeah, I need that whiteboard pen and stick it on the screen.
Oh, Dave, just went a little deep there.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If you miss your braking point in that very little, you could go pretty deep or even into the wall.
We've got a change of lead going on through the flat-out left-hander, so SGP didn't bother bump drafting this time, went for the move instead. And something we should mention as well is Steve F1 having a look at that low line. It doesn't quite have the grip there, though. It says you make the corner a little bit tighter. But yeah, if cars get side by side through turn 1, they're going to be very, very slow because neither will be able to get a fast exit. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see much movement up at the front down into 1, but in the pack, they're definitely going for it down into 1. As SRI going for a switch back on Jimmy.
Yeah, has it worked though? I don't think it has, and he's not got the slipstream. Oh, he's just tucking in there. Nice awareness of the gap between the drivers there.
Ooh, Jimmy coming down to lane 1. It is the faster lane through the flat-out corner. Jimmy was just ahead when he went for it. Demon R now closed right into the back of Twilight on the pack cam, looking at Jimmy and beyond. So yeah, we're going to end up with a lot of laps around this track. Tyre wear and fuel usage should not be an issue. They're both on, but around this track, I mean, to be honest, I think there's more a risk of someone's in the pits.
Who's in the pits?
Is it? I don't know. Yeah, someone's in the pits. I wonder if it was Gary. I think Gary was all on his own.
Timing screen yet?
No. Look, he's just appeared on the track map in the pit lane. Steve F1 having a look at making a move. As on the pack cam, we've got Jimmy under a lot of pressure from 4 cars. Steve F1 doing a bit of bump drafting, is he? Goes to the high line, ready for the final corner. Twilight's closed in. Oh, big crash on the pack cam. Didn't see exactly what happened, just saw Davey Arp going to the inside wall as up at the front, these 4. I mean, we've not seen them really getting side by side at all, have we, Ray? But that's where I mentioned the speed will come from.
Yeah, once you start fighting, it slows you down. Especially here, when it's kind of like certain lanes with certain grip levels and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, Twilight went for the move on Steve F1 there. Couldn't quite get it done. Demon R had a look at making a move on Twilight as well, and that didn't work. And yeah, so single file they go once again as they head towards the flat out left-hander. Twilight ducking down. Oh, nearly. Twilight's looking like he wants to make moves here.
Oh, Steve F1 wriggling about there.
Oh, Twilight's gone deep. Oh, he's given Steve F1 a bit of a nudge. Oh dear, good day. Yeah, Demon Arse through. Twilight scraping the wall. Yeah.
Wall riding.
Send it to the page. In the sky. Twilight, look how far he's dropped away. I wonder if that's going to be costly now for Twilight, because losing the slipstream, it could lose a lot of pace. We'll have to keep an eye on that. As on the pack cam, we've got Jimmy with SRI right behind him. And yeah, Twilight's just dropping further and further back at the moment.
Yeah, I think it was just that one move, and it's just kind of slowed him down. And then because other cars are keeping kind of the speed up, he's just dropped back. Hopefully he can keep away from this pack.
Well, yeah, I mean,
we can see many different lines people are taking through the corners.
Yeah, well, what'll be interesting, I mean, the viewers won't be able to see it, I mean, we will. What will be interesting will be to see sort of what gear drivers are taking, say, turn 1 and turn 3 in. Or is SRI making a move up the inside, is he? He's having a look, and on the pack cam, Steve F1 and SGP are side by side. I think SGP may be just ahead. Hard to tell. Yes, he is just. But yeah, so seeing what speed and gear drivers are going to be in, especially the guys in the pack, because I mean, third corner, I personally would take it in third gear. If drivers are going to be braking perhaps a bit late, then they may end up dropping down to second gear and a lower speed. So let's take a look. What's SRI doing? Third gear. Steve F1's third gear. Can't see what everyone else is doing though.
Yeah, it's Demon R looking to go for the overtake, or What's going on here? They're trying to go free wide. Oh, Steve F1 just clipped the wall there.
Yeah, tiny little tag of the barrier. I think these three at the front are. Oh, Bob on the pack cab went into turn one a little bit hot, gave Jimmy a little bit of a nudge. I was going to say, I don't think these three at the front are braking early enough for turn one. They're sort of going through there in lane two, whereas I think lane one is the faster way through. Steve F1 taking the high road, he's going to duck down in behind SGP, go for a little switchback. Can't quite get it done though.
No.
And,
I think it's only kind of like turn one you could maybe get the switch back on. I think it's harder on turn two because it's just like flat out, isn't it?
Yeah.
So.
Looking at the pack cam, looking a bit busy behind SRI there. Oh, is that Demon? I thought Demon I was having a look. SGP may have gone defensive. I'm not sure if the switchback will really work. Oh, is that Bob going for the move on SRI? No, it's Jimmy going for the move on SRI. Steve F1 going for the move on SGP as well. See if he's going to be able to do that or not. He's trying. Oh yeah, he's got the inside line. He'll be through now.
Really?
Well, should be. Yep, just.
Yeah.
So on the
SGP try to come back on. Oh.
Well, he is. He's compromised himself a little bit though. Demon R's got very close to the back of SGP as on the pack cam SRI's broken away a little bit from Jimmy and Bob and Rich, I think it is there. So up at the front we've still got these three running fairly close. Twilight can't catch back up at the moment. In a way, Twilight could do with these three getting side by side as much as possible to slow them down. Ooh, what was that? Oh, what happened there, Ray?
I think Rich just went to turn into the corner and didn't realise there was a car there, so kind of just a wee nudge. Nothing too serious. They're all still going. Ooh. They're all trying to.
SGP's just retaken the lead of the race through the flat out left. Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh,
big sideways. Oh, that'll compromise his speed.
Yeah. And he needs to watch. He wants to stay within the slipstream of these guys.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've seen what happened to Twilight as Bob on the pack cam is closing in on the back of SRI. I think Bob will go for the move down into turn one. He's having a look. Can he do it? Can he get it slowed down enough? It's hard to say at the moment. SGP's just tagged the barrier on the main screen. Steve F1, is he coming through? He's trying. Bob's trying as well. But SRI, I think, may just hold on. I tell you what, this is really difficult watching three screens with a race on two of them and football on a third.
Steve F1. Was he in the lead? Or did he take the lead?
He's took the lead. SGP tagged the barrier. So yeah, for anyone that's interested, we're currently doing commentary while England are playing their second half against America, and England have been playing crap. Bob, Rich,
on the Scots.
Oh, Rich going for a little bit of an undercutty woody. Couldn't quite get it done though. SGP.
These all just seem to be congealing together.
You know what? They are, aren't they? It's Gary. Gary. He's decided to stick his nose up the inside. Can he get it slowed down? Oh, no, he can't. Bit of contact there, I think. I think because I wasn't looking at the screen when he actually got to the
Yeah, there was a bit of contact. I think Jimmy got put in the wall as Gary's took SRI for 5th place.
I mean, something we did mention, was it on last week's G-Spot? Yeah, that Demon R has dropped out of Slipstream, hasn't he? He's going to struggle now to keep up or to catch back up as
Gary's wide.
Oh, that's very wide. That's up on the high line.
Riders of the Wall.
Yeah. I dared get too singy about this one. Okay, so Gary now having a look up into turn one. So yeah, what we mentioned about on last week's G-Spot was that drivers sometimes may not realise that they've made contact with someone. Now, I don't know if Gary knew he'd made contact with two cars going into turn one on the previous lap. Oh, Jimmy trying to tuck in behind. But it's one of those where, I mean, if you're going to go for the move, you do have to be careful, don't you?
Yeah, we see Dave the Harp going in that inside line. Oh,
Oh, Jimmy sideways.
Sideways.
Two sideways. Tags Rich. He's still bouncing off the barriers to survive, though.
Still facing the right way, thank God for that. And let's just give SRI a breather. Who we got? Jimmy? Is that Jimmy? No, it's Bob on the back.
Yeah, that's Jimmy.
Back of Gary, and now we've got 4 wide. We're making it 5 wide.
Yeah, I mean 2 wide into turn 1 slows you down. 5 wide definitely slows you down. Oh, varied. I mean, 4 wide through turn 1. A little bit of contact. I mean, one thing I will say is in these cars, I mean, around, let's put it this way, professional race drivers racing around an oval have crashes. They get little wobbles and make contact and end up in barriers. It happens. So it will happen in this race. Gary got too high. A little bit of contact with the car next to him. I couldn't tell who it was.
Rich. Jimmy, where we touch on Gary?
Dave's gone high. Now a bit of a tag on Jimmy. And where is Jim? Jimmy's in the pit lane. Dirty pits. Bob going for the move. Oh, no, he's not. Massive sideways. I will mention that on the pack cam.
He's going to be slow out that corner.
That is. On the pack cam, we have got Steve F1 and SGP. Now, they do seem to just be following each other at the moment. So, we've got a lot of action going on behind SRI. So, it looks like that's what we're sort of focusing on as Rich Blues.
Giving SRI a hard time, and that's nice to see. Like, we don't really see Rich giving people hard times, but
so what's that?
He does have
Rich is giving Ray a hard on.
Hard time.
Get off the walls.
Right us off the wall.
Okay, Dave's kind of boxed in a little bit here. As I don't think he's really got anywhere to go, even if he pulls left. Gary's there. Gary might be back in. Did Dave get a tag from behind? I don't know, but he's lost out to Rich Blues.
I don't think he was in front of Rich Blues. I think he was boxed in, was he not?
He might have been. I can't remember. I mean, one thing I can say is 4 wide. Well, see, 4 wide through the flat out left-hander can be done, but what we're going to have to watch out for wobbles. Gary's wobbled and gone high. He's behind Rich. Now the 3 wide. This is where it'll be tricky. It's going to be slippery down on that bottom line. They're all sliding, trying to give each other room. Who's going to have the best exit? It might be Rich. No, he's going to be bum drafted Dave. There's Bob and Gary side by side and Dave side by side. 4 wide into 1. Here we go.
Yeah, Dave doesn't know where to go, left or right. Dave.
He might be going straight on. He is going straight on into SRI. Oh, dearie Dave. I mean, one thing I did say a few moments ago, I mean, on a track like this, we might end up seeing cars bumping each other by accident. And it does look like that's what's happening there. Dave in the middle, so went one way, there's a car there, went another way, there's a car there. And those other cars will have been moving around as well.
That wouldn't have helped him on the braking as he's trying to control the car and brake at the same time. SRI going high.
I mean, it would be interesting to know what point Dave did brake for turn 1, because he definitely went in there. It looked like he went in there a bit hot, let's put it that way. SRI losing a couple of places. Gary now trying to make the move on Rich Blues down into turn 1, but he's not going to have the faster exit out of the corner. SRI might. I think SRI will have a good run here. Rich has got the switchback, but it's not that quick. SRI could make moves by the end of this straight.
We'll wait and see. Is the Bob in the background there just lingering?
Lingering. SRI was making moves past Rich, but Rich is on the low line, and that's the faster line, but SRI just ahead. So Rich Blues tucks it behind Davey up, having a look up the inside. Don't know if that'll work as we swap now to the leaders. So the pack cam is now on formally. We're doing a run through. Okay, so Demon R's now got Twilight right. Why is that happening here?
Demon R dropped back quite a bit then.
Yeah, wow.
He's actually went quite a bit and been overtaken by Twilight.
Yeah, I'm wondering
because Twilight was 4th, wasn't he?
Yeah, I'm wondering if Demon R may have done something a little bit tactical there. We'll have to see if we can find out. Up here, though, we've got Formula Gary with SRI right behind him. Let's see if Gary can hold on to this position. If he goes low, he's got a chance. But can he keep it low? Don't want to dip a wheel on the apron. Oh, he's sliding up wide. SRI up the inside. SRI should be able to get lane 2 here. And he might get the move done. Yeah, Gary's up high into the marbles, and he may have just tagged the barrier as well. Yep,
but he's holding it. He's holding it. It's going to come down to turn 1, isn't it? Gary surely will go for the move.
I probably will.
Yeah, there he is. He's done what SRI hasn't done for 4 times and pulled out.
Yeah, Gary's going for it, and don't call me Shirley. So yeah, sorry, I was watching the game. It's still terrible and 0-0.
SGP got a run on Steve F1, but he's tagged the back of him.
Tagged the back or bump drafted, I wonder. Steve
I don't know, I was into a corner and he's put Steve F1 up on the high.
That he has. SRI got loads of pressure from Formula Gary. Oh, they're side by side. Now it's SRI's turn to scrape a bit of fender on the barrier. Jimmy may be in a decent position here. Depends what he can do. Dave will have slipstream behind SRI. Gary, is SRI sharing the slipstream?
Yeah, I think he's going tactical here. A bit to you.
Oh, he's going chuckle.
And hopefully he's can meet in the middle.
Yeah. But that is something that drivers are going to have to be aware and careful of as Bob and Gary bump doors a little bit. I think SGP's just ran a bit high on the pack cam as well. And I am hearing that Demon R did back out for a couple of laps. Oh, wobbly for Dave the Arp there. I don't know if he tried to sort of give SRI a bit of a bump draft, but sort of got very squirrely through the flat out left-hander. But yeah, I am hearing that Demon R did back out of a few laps to slow down and to try and work with Twilight to catch up to the leaders. Interesting tactic.
Can you believe we're halfway through the race already?
I thought we'd be near the end by now. So up at the front then we've got Steve F1 and SGP.
I want to watch the England game.
Twilight and Demon R trying to work together to try and close the gap. I don't know if they're going to be able to though, because the two Steves are looking very rapid at the moment. And then we've got the pack. Yeah, it definitely looks like Demon R is trying to work with Twilight here. Two cars can go faster around an oval than one car on its own.
Yeah, well, it's alright. He's just getting hounded in that 5th place. He's not getting a moment's peace.
He's not, is he?
Well, he's got a bit of a gap, but I'm sure that'll close down pretty quickly.
That it will. Dave the Arp trying to cover off Jimmy and Bob and Gary.
Oh, Dave the Harp's down in the load. I don't know if he knew that he made contact there. But what would you say is a better going from like say we do it in lanes 1, 2, 3, 4 from the inside of the track to the outside, from lane 4 down into lane 1, 2, and then back out.
Definitely.
So if you're in that tighter line, then you're not going to carry as much speed round, are you? As we see you use it.
Dave with a nice drift around the final corner. It won't be quick as Jimmy's just tagged the barrier. But yeah, if you're in lane 1 heading to turn 1 and you go round turn 1 in lane 1, then you're going to be slower than you could be in lane 1 is if you'd gone from lane 4 to 3 to 2 to 1 and back out again. So yeah, if you sort of went
Dave the Harp looking for a switchback here. Is he going to get it as long as he doesn't run out wide?
Gary's the sausage in the middle of the roll. And on the pack.
They like a dead sausage.
I did have a sausage roll today. Dave the Arp. Well, Dave the Arp on the inside line got a run on Formula Gary. Can't quite get past Bob though, as SGP still bump drafting Steve F1.
Jimmy, it's alright. It always gets you moving, doesn't it, when they go side by side and start sliding?
Absolutely. Demon R, Twilight still trying to work together. I don't think though that they're going quick enough. Jimmy up the inside. See, he's going to go from lane 3 to lane 1, and it's not as quick as going from lane 4 to 1. SRI though has kind of gone lane 4 to 3, but that's also not as quick either. Oh, have we got something going on here with Demon R and Twilight? Maybe.
Oh, Demon R into lane 1 of the. Oh.
Yeah, through the. I don't know. I think Twilight may have just got a little bit high up the wall though. So change of position for 3rd. So maybe Demon R's thinking, well, I've tried bump drafting you. How about you bump draft me instead? Jimmy sideways.
3 wide. Who does he give the bump draft to? Who does he give the slipstream to? Sorry, not a bump draft.
Well,
he's got Jimmy.
Dave the Arp's up the inside. Yeah, well, Dave the Arp maybe. I was going to say
Jimmy's going for the move.
He tried it last lap, didn't he?
SRI's still using that higher line than what we normally see him use.
Yeah, he kind of has to though, because Jimmy's there. But this is the thing: if SRI goes defensive into turn 1, he'll be slower than doing 4 to 3, if that makes sense. Obviously 4 to 1 is quicker, but 3 to 1 is slower than 4 to 3. Rich got a bit. Rich got a bit high there. Bob got a bit slidey as well as Twilight.
Here comes Gary.
Hi. Rich.
Gary Dave the Harp.
It's a bit of a touch.
Massive.
I think. On the back cam, there's 3 cars headed to the pit lane. They may have just missed it. Yeah, there's Bob and Gary and Dave the Harp.
Dave the Harp.
Yeah. I wonder if that. I wonder if.
Gary! I thought Gary was going to hit Dave the Harp.
Rich Blues making moves. I wonder if. I wouldn't be surprised if that was a couple of cars just getting a bit too high up on the racetrack and sort of bumping into each other and the wall, and it bouncing them away from the wall. Maybe it's something we'll be able to have a look at on the G spot. Who knows? SGP running a little bit high, but still within that slipstream. Looking at these guys' lap times, look, they're in the the high 51s, 51.9s. I don't think Demon R and Twilight were doing the 51s. I think they were low 52s.
Hopefully we'll find out soon and see what they are doing. But yeah, SGP I think he's just sitting there a wee bit. He doesn't look like he's been aggressive, does he?
No, but if you look at his car, it's got a big, gormless, happy, smiley face on the front of it.
Well,
at the front, got 2 eyes and a smile. Look.
Every car's get that.
No, they haven't. His is bigger. Well, hang on. His is wide. Oh, hang on. If you look at the front of Steve F1's car, his smile's not as wide as the one on SGP's.
Because he's put it dark. Yeah. As we see, is that Jimmy going for a move on SRI? Can't get it done.
Was, yeah. He's gonna.
And these guys are in the low 52s, maybe high 52, depending where they are within the pack. So they're losing a wee bit of time to the leaders, but they're having a great battle though.
Well, the interesting thing about this is that, they're doing similar sort of lap times, I think, to Twilight and Demon R, while having mental. SRI just hit the barrier. He's losing. You can't get in that gap. I'm just looking at the pack count. Here we go. They've had
51, 52s.
Yeah, they've had 1 in the 51s.
Demon R rider up the wall.
Another prick in the wall.
But yeah, so they're doing the kind of same lap times as the pack, so the pack isn't catching them and the pack isn't really falling away from them. So as we see Rich, Jimmy, SRI, Dave the Harp got back up after that big crash out of the last corner.
Absolutely, and we've still got...
SRI turning in a wee bit too much there maybe.
Yeah, we've got Bob just come rapidly round turn 1 there, a bit sideways. We've still got 12 minutes 15 seconds left of this race. It seems to have been a very long race. But we're currently on lap 32 of God knows how many. as Marcus Rashford now comes on for England, and it's still 0-0 with 12 minutes 15 seconds to go.
Oh, Rich sliding.
Oh, SRI.
Dave the Harp and Jimmy, this is going to be the first time Dave the Harp's been at the front of this pack. He's been trying to get his way through, hasn't he? Just on Dave the Harp, he's been showing rapid pace with this car. Just the oval maybe just not his thing.
Yeah, maybe not quite suiting him perhaps, or Rich getting a little bit wobbly. Something we haven't actually mentioned is the camber of the track on the exit of turn 1. If you sort of don't steer right on the exit of turn 1, the camber does naturally send you sort of left out of the exit, so we probably will have been seeing contacts there from that. Dave the Harp wasn't quite able to hold on to or get to the lead of the pack as Gary and Rich go up high.
Car high, car low.
Yep.
Car high, car. Now SRI's on the inner line. How do we reckon he's going to get on? We're not going to see it unless we look at a pack cam.
Oh, SGP, really? Sorry, going for a change of lead through the fast left-hander. Did SRI get it done? No, he didn't. So SGP has taken the lead of the race. Wasn't a lot happening up at the front until now. So yeah, what happened to SRI?
He just that line was just a wee bit too slow, but he's got in the inside of Jimmy. We're going to see how this helps someone turn 3 in the pack cam.
Oh, someone wobbly Jimmy. On the pack cam in the background. Everyone's sliding.
Yeah.
I just want to mention SGP. Sorry, Steve F1 did get back ahead. Wobble,
Jimmy. Naughty.
Was he trying to spin Ray, or was he trying to get in the pits? I wonder.
He was trying to get in the pits, but we did hear on radio that he said he was going to the pits, and SRI was a wee bit naughty and sticking his car down there.
Sorry, Pack Cam, Twilight, Demon R. Now main screen. So Twilight's come back at Demon R. Yeah, misses the wall. So SRI blocking the pit entry then, was he? Oh, naughty.
But you still can't go to the pits if there's a car there. You've got to make space for yourself to get to the pits.
Well, I do think Jimmy was perhaps trying to back out to be able to sort of tuck into the pits, and maybe just misjudged the length of his front end. 3 wide on the pack cam. Well, no comment. It was 3 wide on the pack cam, but now we've got 2 cameras looking at the same battle as they once again change positions. Now, you mentioned earlier on, Ray, whether SGP was just sitting there and biding his time. Do you think he's now decided last 10 minutes, time to go for it?
Yeah, but he's sitting a wee bit high up and out of that corner, so that's allowing Steve F1 just getting that wee bit closer, and then Steve F1's he's got the move done. I couldn't see if he had the move done or not. I wasn't looking at the timing screen. I forgot that was there.
I was looking at the pack cam as it was getting a little bit busy, and it is again. They're sort of closing up once again. So yeah, maybe SGP just testing the waters of where a move may be doable. Twilight is still ahead of Demon R. SRI at the head of the pack once again, with Dave the Harp trying to make moves on him around turn 1, but SRI with that higher line manages to hold on.
Coppers the wall as well.
Dave's dropped back into the clutches of Bob and Gary and Rich, I think it is, that are closing in.
Yeah, I think, Jimmy went for the pits, didn't he? So,
yes.
Jimmy somewhere. We can see him in the track map at the blue arrow in front of the red arrow.
Yeah, Steve F1 just got massively sideways through turn 1. That'll give SGP, who got a good run on him here. Now, is he going to bump draft, or is he going to slot down to the bottom of the track? No, he's just good for the bump draft. As on the pack cam, it's 2x2 behind SRI. It's fascinating stuff going on.
Yeah, I wonder if how long SGP is going to stay behind. Twilight.
Ooh.
Rider of the One.
Yeah.
Is he trying to get round Demon R?
Well, no, he was trying to stay ahead of Demon R. I think he got a little bit
okay.
deep, yeah. SGP's got a decent run on Steve F1 on the pack cam. So, yeah, change of position for third and fourth now. Will Twilight be able to come back at him? I mean, one thing I will say is, I mean, we can...
He's looking at it, he's taking that... He's dropping down a wee bit, just showing his front end. Shall we say.
Yeah, okay, this could get interesting down into one. Bob moving up for the higher line. It makes sense, but he's going to have to be careful. Oh, no, he's gone straight on. Oh, dear, he may have just braked a little bit deep there into the barrier. Compromises his exit. Dave the Op has got a run on him now. One thing I will say is we haven't really seen any of these guys in the pack working together, have we?
No.
No.
No, not at all.
It's like, you're in position 5, I want position 5, I'm going for position 5, I'm now in position 7.
I think it would have been question, want to work together, question.
Hello, question. Okay, so 5.5 minutes to go. 5.5 minutes to go in the England-USA game. SGP going for the move up the inside. That'll be a change.
Got it, Dave the Harp. Got it, Dave the Harp sideways. Oof.
Yeah, I think Gary may have just sort of tagged Dave. Did Gary tag Dave or did Dave come down? Did Dave go down on Gary?
It was hard to say, but...
it wasn't. Did Dave go down on Gary? It was very easy to say.
It was in the middle of the corner, so we don't know what was going on. As we see Bob having a run on SRI, a wee touch the back end of SRI.
Yep, a wee bumpy, drafty, bumpy. Oh, SGP's taken the lead of the race. Wasn't watching. Sorry, I was watching the pack cam. But yeah, through turn 1, SGP took the lead, unless it already happened before. And yeah.
That's boring up there. Look at that pack cam. Look how many people around. Here comes Jimmy, late on the brakes.
Can he get it stopped? We can just. He likes a flash of the lights, does Jim Bob.
Yeah. You're you, Jimmy.
So
flashing.
Lift up your give it a wee flicker. Jimmy's got the inside line. Going through the flat out left. Bob up high, Bob down low, Dave's down there as well. I hope there wasn't contact. I don't think there was. But
SRI's going wide.
Yep, can he keep it away from the barrier? Might just be able to. Dave could get a good run here.
Bob's trying again. That gap. Now Dave does the hops and switched sides with Bob.
Yeah, no slipstream, but he's got it on now with SRI sharing the slipstream a bit, or trying to get Jimmy looking in his mirrors, but Jimmy don't look at his mirrors. Mirrors, what are they? Bob tagging the wall. Go on.
There's a bit of a gap on the pack cam between 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Steve F1's got to run.
Yeah.
Steve F1's got to run.
SGP going, SRI going for the low line, going for 1, down in turn 2. Side by side he goes with Jimmy once again as Steve F1 bump drafted SGP. This, I've got to say, this is fantastic stuff. SRI just ahead. So close. Here comes Bob.
Jimmy's went for the inside line for down into turn 1.
Yeah.
We've got Bob there, we've got the two greenies.
We've also got Steve F1 real close to SGP, but they're going through the fast left-hander now, as we can see on the main screen. Steve F1 got a bit too sideways, a bit too high, and see if he can get it slowed down. See, they're using lane 2. There's Steve F1 with much more grip in the lower part of lane 2. Side by side they go, but can't get it done.
No. Come on, we want to see what's in the pack. Keep them in the pack.
Someone's in the barrier.
Couldn't see who it was.
I think there was some sparks off Rich's car. I think someone else was in the barrier there as well. Couldn't tell who it was. It might have been. Maybe.
Rich!
Head first. Well.
He needs a medic. Once we switch to the leaders again, we've got, what, 2 minutes to go?
Yes, 2 minutes to go. Steve F1 trying to get up the inside. He's got up the inside. SGP went wide, I think. May have tagged the barrier. Now he's going for a switchback. And Steve F1's gone wide. He's up in the marbles. Oh, dearie marbles. As Bob is now right up the gearbox of SRI. Oh, this is fascinating stuff. It's more fascinating than the England-USA game, let's put it that way. It's been shocking for England, I'll be honest.
I'm on the Scots. I'm not saying the other team, because the last time I cursed them for so long, I'm not doing that.
Okay, so on the pack cam, it's still busy. We've got 1:15 to go, and we're like laps are under a minute, so it'll be interesting to see when the leading two get to the start-finish line how long is going to be left. Is there going to be one lap left? I think there's only going to be one more lap after this, Ray.
Yeah, SRI's got a bit of a gap. This is the first time in 40 minutes, near enough he's hit a bit of a gap.
Yeah, he can have a bit of a breather as the front two battle it out nearly side by side over the start-finish line. This is going to be the final lap of the race. They are starting now. So SGP leading, Steve F1, is he going to have a look? Yes, he is. Down into turn one. They've not attempted this at all throughout the race, but Steve F1 goes for it, takes the lead. It's a critical time. And on the pack cab, it's getting busy behind SRI.
But does he want to take the lead now? Because he's gave the slipstream to SGP. Now SGP can mess about with what lanes he wants to use. So I'm looking as we come into turn 3.
Yeah, looking at the pack cam, it's busy. Steve F1's got a little bit wide. He's in the marbles. He's in the wall. SGP's going to come through. Is he going to win it? He is. Look at the pack cam, though. There's still a battle going on there. SGP takes the win. Oh, excuse me. That's all right. That's all right. Hold on.
Twilight.
Oh, there's a bit of contact. Gary's coming in hot. He's going out cold. He's into the barrier. Oh, and now there's more collisions happening. It's goal kicking off at the back. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh, there's cars spinning. Oh, Gary's in the barrier. Rich has spun around. Oh, we had a big one on lap 1. We've had a big one on the final lap of the race. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh, dearie dear. Yeah, what a race.
Yeah, what a race. Yeah. What an ending. I don't know, what'd you make of that one?
I'm not Jamaican, but excuse me. No, you know what? I find that very interesting. Kind of two different races going on. 4 cars up at the front working, or not necessarily working together, but not attacking in certain corners and having an overall faster lap time, and then just all balls to the wall in the pack. So 2 very different types of racing. What I will say though is there is going to be a G-spot this week, and there are a few things that we've seen in this race I think we might want to have a look at on the G-spot. So it could be very interesting, including what happened at the end of the race there, because I don't know exactly what happened, and I doubt you do either, Ray.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I ain't got a clue. So, and that's one of the reasons why the G-spot is very handy, because it means we can go and have a look and find out what did happen. You're just going to have to wait until Monday for that.
Yep.
Up at the front, though, Steve F1, he had it won, didn't he? Well, I would say he had it won. Going into the final corner in first, I don't think SGP would have been able to get past him. I don't think the slipstream was powerful enough to sort of get up alongside and pass. But with Steve F1 just going that little bit deeper into the marbles and up the wall he goes, yeah. Unfortunate for him.
He'll be gutted with that one, yeah.
Aye, that he will. I've had a drink of blackcurrant juice and fizzy water, and it's giving me loads of gas. So what else can we say? I mean, yeah, those 2 up front, fantastic racing. Demonar and Twilight looks like they had a very good battle, but I do want to sort of ask the question. Oh, sorry, there was nearly a goal. I do want to ask the question though, because it's not something really sort of seen before. Is it wrong for anyone to do what Demonar did and slow down to pair up with another car to try and catch up the leaders?
Well, no, I don't think there is. But there's not a rule against it, but didn't really help him, did it?
No, that is true. It didn't. But having said that, it's one of those things. I think the idea was a good one. It just didn't work. Because as we saw when Twilight dropped out the slipstream, he couldn't keep up. When Demonar dropped out the slipstream, he couldn't keep up. There was no way that Demonar or Twilight could have caught Steve F1 or SGP. They were just too quick with the bump draft. I mean, they were in the 51s. And yeah, they were way too fast. So yeah, fair enough. Twilight, though, I think, to be fair, he's had a brilliant race. When we've seen others making issues, or not issues, but others making errors, Twilight, I think, has done really, really well there. SRI though, I think if he was going to give a driver of the day, I'd give it SRI, because he's had to put up with more pressure there than I was going to say something really bad then. More pressure than a cork being forced back into a wine bottle. That's not the rude thing I was going to say, but that's what I'll go with. Yeah, so SRI I think has done really well there. But what I do want to say is I think Bob may have been very, very unlucky at the end, because Bob was in 6th place, I think, heading into the last couple of corners, Ray.
Yeah, it was either Bob or Jimmy. I can't remember.
It wasn't Jimmy, it was Bob.
Was it?
Yeah, it was Bob.
Yeah, that's a big unfortunate mishap that's happened, which, if you say we're covering in the G spot, we'll see what's went on, because we couldn't see. All we did was see cars going left, right, and in circles.
All over the bloody place.
Yeah. But yeah. But Jimmy, he kept SRI under pressure most of that race.
Yeah. I didn't think we'd see Jimmy being sideways at this track. How wrong was I? Because he was sideways. But to be fair, saying that, quite a few guys in the pack were sideways in a few corners. But yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't as... to be honest, it wasn't as sideways as he normally is. That's the thing. Yeah, it was more... It was more... What's the word I'm looking for?
Controlled.
I don't know. Yeah, well, his sides are most of the time controlled, but yeah, he was more
calm, sedate.
Not a race car and not a drift car.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then Dave the Harp, what a race he was having. He had a big incident at the
first lap.
Was it the first lap? I can't remember.
Yeah, there was one at the first lap. Then there was the big one where 3 nearly ended up in the pits. But
and back into 7th place. Don't know. Maybe oval wasn't his thing, because we know he's got pace with this car. You know, he's one of the front runners. So don't know what was there, or maybe too much GT7 practice.
Maybe.
And it these things, because even though they're same, is it make of game?
Yeah.
The cars handled very different from GT7 to GT Sport. So maybe that Wednesday night thing we did kind of threw him off balance. Don't know.
It's possible, yeah.
But great to see him getting back up to 7 after the incidents. that happened with him. Not saying it was his fault or anything before people get on my back, just within the generalisation of him. And then 8th, we've got Rich Blues back in his favourite place. It's been a while since he's been there, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
You want to say about Rich Blues? You're just sitting there watching the football going, come on.
It's finished. It's finished 0-0. No, I mean, to be fair, I mean, it's difficult to know what kind of race Rich had, because we did see him headbutt the wall a few times. Oh no, hang on. What was it you said? What was it you said last night about how Rich's race went? Rich did really well for a couple of laps out of 42. Yeah. But I mean...
No, we had a good battle for a couple of laps.
Yeah.
He was just misinterpreted it.
Yeah, I mean, Rich was also collected in a couple of... I mean, the thing is, the crashes that I saw happen, they can happen around an oval. As I said, professional race car drivers still have crashes around an oval. So we're definitely...
What are you trying to say? These guys aren't professional race drivers?
Yes. Then when none of us are...
I'd say they're better than the professional.
Wait till you've seen the G-spot. But no, yeah, so a tough one for Rich, but yeah.
See, drivers, I don't put you down, it's Demon Arm that will put you down.
I'll put you down, yeah. just call me the vet. I'll put you down in no time. Who was finished after Rich then?
Former Gary.
Well, Gary did all right for a couple of laps. Gary was definitely in the thick of the action, that's for certain. I think of all of the big crashes, he was definitely caught up in. But he still kept going, and he kept getting up back into the pack, and was still giving it a good go. He may have given it a little bit too much of a go in the final lap. I'm not sure. We'll have to wait until we see the G-spot. But yeah, it's... I think Gary's comment after the race that I've heard was, I'm not a big fan of this car, but he didn't use as many words. But yeah, so a tough one. I think the highlight for Gary, though, was finishing the race, crossing the line backwards. I think that just summed up his race for him.
Yeah, he was in there in the thick of it, and seen a couple of late braking points, or late braking, but yeah. And up in 10th place was the Mighty Narsh, aka Bob.
Well, I'm pretty sure Bob was very unlucky on that last lap, 'cause I'm certain that Bob was behind SRI in 6th place, going into the final corner, and ended up last. Yeah, a tough end for Bob there, I think. As for the rest of the race, interested to say the least. Interested. And well, I think we saw quite a few people sort of get the braking point wrong for turn 1. I mean, everyone did at some point. So seeing Bob do it a couple of times in the race is no different to anybody else. But I mean, he was still there. He was in the thick of it, giving it everything. And yeah, why not? Tough one. But I mean, this is the thing though, Ray. I mean, I was trying to sort of mention it during commentary. People think an oval is going to be easy. But when you're 3 wide, which you can do around a track that's got 4 lanes, when you're 3 wide, it only takes one of those cars to have a wobble. Or as we saw with, I think it was Dave at one point, he's in the middle of 2 cars. He was the middle of 3, and sort of goes one way car, goes the other way car, and all it needs is a little bit of contact and can start a chain reaction. So yeah. an interesting race, though, I think, for Bob. But overall, I think an interesting, exciting race in general.
Yeah. There was always something going on somewhere.
Absolutely. Now, a couple of things I do want to mention. We are going to have to mention what track is next, Ray.
Oh, feck, I don't know.
I can't remember. I know which track is last.
It's the one that's got his wall.
Oh,
is it his wall?
Yes, Sardegna. It's one of the Sardegnas.
Sardegna A2 at 7:20 at night, so it's a wee bit dark. A couple of drivers, a few drivers saying they can't see where they're going.
No
usual headlights.
Yeah. I mean, one thing I don't know if the drivers were told before the season started that basically the way this championship has run is each event has got a little bit later in the day. So like the first one was very early morning and they've progressed through. So like this next one coming up is late in the day, and it is a little dark around the streets of Sardegna. And
then the last race kind of brings it all together. I'm not saying what track it is.
Well, we can in a second. It's just I want to bring something to your attention, and that is, given the current championship standings, SGP could win the championship at the next race. Which, if he does that, means that he'll be doing the Champions Challenge, which is starting a lap down at what track, Ray?
Circuit de la Sarthe, no chicane.
Yeah. So starting a lap down around a 4-minute long lap, that would be one interesting Champions Challenge that he'd end up having to do. So yeah, don't be surprised if we see SGP have a shit result next week, because he won't want to do the Champions Challenge. But yeah, so Sardegna Ray, go on.
Yeah, so like the Circuit de la Sarthe, is that Le Mans?
It is Le Mans. Yep.
So you kind of that brings into perspective why we went from early morning through to late night. Because of Le Mans 24 hours. Yeah,
the Ford GT40 being produced for Le Mans 24 hours. And that is also why it's called the Miles mug, because of Ken Miles, and he liked cups of tea. And yes, the GT40, and where better to finish it than at Cirque de la Sarthe, where the car was designed for.
Also, watch out on Sardegna 2. There's a couple of sticky out walls.
Yeah. Well,
if you don't see them, they'll see you.
Oh, they definitely will. Not only that, it's going to
flat out turn one.
Yeah, easy flat. But I was going to say it's a track that's going to be a bit like Spa in that we've driven there a few times in cars, and in this car it's very, very different.
Braking zones where there wasn't braking zones.
Exactly. But I think the advantage, see, this is perhaps something that I don't think some people may have cottoned onto, is there is an advantage to this car, which is because it's only got 4 gears, then it's not as busy round a track. It's not that hard to work out what gear you need to be in a corner, or you can't go down the gears too quickly because there isn't any of them. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how people get on. Now, something that we may have to discuss at some point, Ray, which I'll tease you with it now, but I did mention it to SGP earlier today, which is that, I would put it to you as an admin. Is it worth considering whether this choice of car was the right choice, given that the admins seem to like the car, but many of the other drivers really don't seem to get on with it and like it very much.
See, we can't say if it was the right or the wrong choice, because in our name, in our league name, Dynamic, we change everything up, so we've got to try something new every so often, or else it's just going to get repetitive and boring.
Yeah.
And I think it's like with the way car choices have been and the discussions we've had, and there's many that love fast car, high downforce, and there's people that don't like fast cars and high downforce and like more
like road car.
more of a race road car or a low end race car. And I think like we had the discussion because we were going to go to a different car at some point. I'm not naming car or whatever. We had the discussion, and it was like high-end downforce after a high-end downforce, and another one, and it just seemed like it was all high-end downforce speed, and so we threw in a couple of other ones to see. And
yeah, well, we did the Dirty Championship, didn't we, with the Dirty Touring car. That Jimmy had it in the bag until he said, "I've got it in the bag." And then this car, which has no aeros, but yeah, it is a very different car to one of the things we've been driving recently. But I mean, one thing I guess I would say is, I mean, I can appreciate if people haven't quite got on with this car, but if it means that they like the next ones more, it's worth going through the pain.
And I'm glad that even though they've not liked it, they kind of stuck it out, haven't they?
Yep.
And like it was, we are created just to have a fun and a laugh, but people take it seriously. 7-time champion, 5-time champion, 2-time champion, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know how many time champion everybody is. Was just putting the numbers out.
There's a Twilight one, Mitch one,
Steve F1, don't know. SGP, don't know. Yourself, don't know.
I have no idea. Okay.
One.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Yeah. Okay. So a little bit of information for everybody. I'm pretty sure that. So people know, dates of the ARC event will be confirmed soon, because we did have a postponed race in this championship. It may have set things back a little bit. So confirmation of that will be done fairly soon. If need be, though, I believe if we have to, we'll do it first week of January. But we'll confirm that. But also, the car that will be after the ARC, I believe we're in discussions about announcing that soon. So hopefully people will know. So before everybody starts asking, "Oh, what is it?" Just give us a little bit of time. We'll tell you what it is. Don't worry.
Hold your horses.
Hold your horses and buy a Samba bus. And other than that, I think we're just about done.
All right.
Yeah.
What's your shit joke?
You know, I've got none. And do you know why I had none?
Too busy the England game.
Because I had the England game on my phone, and I usually store the jokes on my phone, but I couldn't switch. Actually, I got an email today saying. On that note,
we will end it there.
I got an email today saying, at Google Earth, we can even read maps backwards. And I thought, well, that's just spam.
Okay.
All
right. Let's just end it there.
No, come on. This was good. This was good, right. Okay. A German tourist jumped in the freezing water to save my precious little dog who was drowning. After he climbed out, he handed me the dog and said, "Here is the dog. Keep him warm and dry him off. He will be fine." I said, "Are you a vet?" He replied, "Vet? I'm fucking soaking."
Yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah.
What about this? Robin saying to Batman, "Batman, the Batmobile won't start." And Batman says, "Check the battery." He goes, "What's a Terry?" Dum, dum, dum.
No. The only good joke you've done was when it was unplanned and it was a fucking accent.
Yeah.
Right.
Right, Confirmed Race Result Championship standings coming up. Confirmation of the race result there, SGP, maximum points, 20 of them, ahead of Steve F1, who was unlucky on that last lap, Demon R in 3rd, Twilight 4th, SRI 5th, Jimmy in 6th, David Harp in 7th, Rich Blues in 8th, Formula Gary in 9th, Almighty Narsh in 10th. No reports placed, so no penalties to be given out, although there will be a few things we're going to have a look at on this week's G-Spot, so yeah, check that out, Monday, 6 p.m, hopefully. I might possibly change the day the G-Spot comes out, though. Just something I'm thinking of doing, give myself a bit more time to get them edited together, but also perhaps a bit more time after the race live stream before another video goes up. We'll have to see. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you prefer to have it on a Monday or on a Tuesday or a Wednesday maybe. Okay, let's take a look at the championship standings then. SGP 130 points, 26 ahead of Demon R, which means that SGP could win the championship at the next race. I doubt he will, because he won't want to do the Champions Challenge at Le Mans. Or has he got the cojones to go for it? Demon R in 2nd place on 104 points. A few ahead now. Steve F1, who's moved up to 3rd place ahead of Dave the Harp in 4th. Jason in 5th place, but he's now got Jimmy 1 point behind him. Jimmy on for his best championship finish. If he could outscore Jason, well, I mean, if he stays in 6th, he's done it, but if he outscores Jason by 1 point, then he'll be ahead of him. So yeah, Jason 5th, Jimmy 6th, and then we've got Twilight 2 points behind in 7th, and then a little bit of a gap, 5 points to Formula Gary in 8th, 7 points to SRI in 9th, who's only 1 ahead of Conrad in 10th, 4 back then to Rich Blues in 11th, Hay on 28 points, so a bit of a gap there. So we've got a battle, sort of Hay, Art Pal and Bob, 28 points, 26 points and 24 points. Bunsell still yet to score, but he's not been able to get to the track yet, but he is coming soon. Okay, so yeah, what an event we've had there. 2 races to go. Sardegna 8 could be a tricky one, dirty little road circuit, but I actually do like it. It's a nice flowing circuit in this car. I would just recommend to people use the brakes. So yeah, other than that, what else is there to say? 2 races to go, as I mentioned, and yeah, championship could be decided. Don't forget we do merch still. Link is in the description. If you want anything custom, let us know and we can sort that out for you. You can still donate to Art Pals Movember. I'll put the link in the description once again. So yeah, all for a good cause. Right, thanks for watching, listening, like, subscribe. You know what to do. Tell your friends, tell your neighbours. I dare you to tell your neighbours, actually. Alright, have a good one, and we'll see you all again soon.